So we have something called PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act. And we created a little visual here just to help us think, how does P4 tie in and where does it fit and what does Plan, Do, Check, Act? So if you have a system like this, if you don't have a feedback that tells you whether it's working or not working, then I would say it's a little bit like going on a walk without a destination, right? So we're trying to get better. And so we have a destination. Hopefully that you put that together in the P4. In this week, I need to get this much installation done with this size crew. I need to check, how did my plan go? People in the military will tell you, yeah, plan, and then the plan, once you get at the work, roll the plan out because you have to respond to what's happening. And most of us in construction feel a little bit that way. Once once you're there and you're actually in the middle of it, that's when the guy calls you and this thing happened and the guy in front of you wasn't able to finish, they had a problem. There's something else came up and materials didn't show up from another trade, or your own stuff didn't show up the way you thought, that you know, on and on and on. So it's great to have a plan, right? So what does PDCA do for us? Well, in the first part of this cycle, what is the cycle for construction? We said it's 1 week. It's 1 week. What did I have planned in my P4? We're going to start 6 weeks from now. Let's just say it's 6 weeks. And then I get to that first week, right? Week 1. Just gonna put a 1 there. Week 1. This is the planning. We did P4 in the planning stage, and then week 1 hits. It's upon us. We think we've been refining it for 6 weeks now, and we're ready to go. Week 1, day 1. We work through it. Day 2, day 3, day 4. We move into week 2. Well, in week 2, I'm reviewing, or if we do this right, we generally get our guys to look at it on Friday. How did it go? Now, we haven't completed, but we know by Friday if we're going to finish, right? So usually they're having a meeting on Friday morning. How are we doing? Did we get to this part, and what does next week look like? So that now when we get through the do and we're having this discussion, we're actually talking about, so now we get to this week, we're talking about the check. We're looking at the work. How did it go? We're having more of a conversation. It's more than just, did we finish? That's great if we did or didn't, but how did it go? Did we overcome some problems that we didn't foresee? Is there some stuff we saw that we want to change, that we need to adjust? And if we do, that's when we move into this phase. What are those adjustments that we're going to make, hopefully for next week? And if we can't get them integrated into next week, possibly the week after. But generally we find our stuff happens and moves fast. What we uncover in the check phase, we're typically making the adjustment for the following week. Okay, not always doable, because sometimes it may need some different materials, different information, some different drawings, but that's the goal. If I can make the adjustment for next week, great. If I can't, that's okay too. But now let's go back through. So now we're in the plan again, because we're getting ready to move into next week. How did this week go? And so this cycle keeps going in weekly bites, or weekly. So weekly review of our own work as a trade partner. How did it go? How did our planning go? Did those all as efficiency? How did the try go? We tried this, we thought this would work, and most of it worked, but we had a little problem with this. So we made an adjustment. We had to feed it back to the prefab guy. We needed a different tool, wasn't working. On and on and on.